Okay, well, let's begin. My name is Rita, and I am the Program and Technology Specialist for the Wood County Committee on Aging. Some of you probably already know me, but today our focus is on iPhone and iPad tips and tricks. So I have been an Apple user for a very long time, and I think that there are some things I have even learned in the last year or two, or some people just tell me whenever they think of it, of just features of these Apple products. Give me one sec here. I've got someone new coming in. Well, we'll continue and hopefully that new participant comes in easily. But anyways, so I'm excited to share with you some of my favorite tips and tricks for Apple users. And of course, you know, there's a lot of things that our phones and our iPads offer, but these are some of my favorites that I think are worth sharing with you. So at this time, I'm going to share my screen and we'll begin my PowerPoint here. Again, I invite anybody to message us throughout the presentation if you have something that you would like to share or ask. All right, so hopefully by now you're able to see my presentation. The first thing I'm going to review is my first troubleshooting option. So let's say you're doing something like normal on your device, and a lot of the time you don't have any issues whatsoever. And all of a sudden, something's going wrong and it's not acting normal. And I like to call that a little glitch, where something's just not acting right. So the first thing I would suggest is to close out of apps. Your phone, whether you have an iPhone actually or an iPad, has an option to clean out basically whatever's going on that it's trying to function right now. So for example, you'll see my screen on here. If I lift up my on my finger on my device, this is a newer iPhone, so there's no home button. I'm able to look at the different apps that are open, and I can swipe my finger up as if I'm getting rid of them. Now, if you have a device that still has a home button on the bottom of it, so for example, I have my iPad here, and on the bottom, you'll notice there's a button. That acts as the same function that I showed you on my iPhone. But basically, to open up your apps that you already have open, you double click this feature. And it looks a little different on the iPad, but basically you can swipe away the apps that you have open. This does not delete anything off of your device. If you think about it like if you're on a computer and you have a lot of websites open, it's like closing out of everything. You're eliminating all these things that your device has to think about all at one time. So by clearing it out all the way until no apps are open anymore, so let me show you through here. If I keep closing out of these, it's back on my home screen. That is a good way to try and fix any glitches that your device may have. It's kind of an old joke with anybody in technology. We ask, have you closed your apps and have you restarted your device? So those are my first two things here. If you have your phone with you or device with you, it's really good to know how to fully turn off your device. This means it is fully powered off. There'd be no way anybody could call you. I recommend at least maybe once a week, if not more, if you needed it, to turn off your device. And by doing that, for those that have a newer phone like this one, you actually have to hold down your power button on the side along with the down volume button. So afterwards, when we get to talk about the devices that you have, we can work together to figure out how to properly shut it down and turn it back I think that those are really important things to know for how to troubleshoot simple glitches and simple problems that you may be dealing with on your device. And I've worked with a lot of people over the years, and I find that folks sometimes don't even know how to do those tasks. Not many times do you have a pamphlet that even comes with your device. So at the end, we'll practice with what you have and hopefully get you up to date on those skills. My next tip on any Apple device comes what's called the Health app. And it looks like a heart. It's completely free with your device, but there are several functions that I think are worth noting about it. The first one is the emergency access to your medical ID. So for example, if I were to unfortunately be in an accident and I was unconscious, the emergency personnel could go to my phone and they can go to my emergency information. And there's a lot of things that I can choose to add in there that could possibly help the situation I'm in. So identifying myself with my name, my date of birth, medical conditions, medical notes, allergies and reactions, medications, and so on and so forth. So you should be seeing on my screen now even more things that you can add in. I think this is brilliant, especially for those that may be on several medications or have specific allergies, maybe to pain medication or some antibiotics or things like that. And then finally, a list of emergency contacts. I currently have 3 emergency contacts, but as far as I know, you can have as many as you want on there so that they could properly contact the right people. So anyways, this is just one piece of the Health app, and I highly recommend making sure that that is up to date if that is something you wish to have. Some folks have paper versions of this, but if you're more techie and you like to have that information on hand on your phone, this is your option. Another function of this Health app that's already automatically on your phone, it can track the number of steps and the number of flights of stairs that you take throughout the day. Now, of course, you'd have to have it on you at all times for this to be properly tracked, but maybe you don't have a smartwatch, one of those watches that tracks your steps. If this could be your next best option to know how many steps you're getting, I'd say take advantage of it. And you'll notice here, I put a picture on there, but I think it's really neat. And your devices have the ability to know when you're going up flights of stairs. Now get this, the average amount that the medical experts would want us to walk is about 10,000 steps a day and hopefully 10 flights of stairs. So this, make up your goals and choose to shoot for whatever you would like, but this could be a way for you to track that. Even beyond your steps and your stair tracking, maybe you need, from your doctor, you need to keep track of certain things. Maybe you're dealing with some pain issues, and whenever I go to the doctor's office and I'm put on the spot to say, okay, when did that pain start happening? What did it feel like? Having a place where you can store that information is really handy. And I tend to use my apps because my phone's with me at all times. So if I notice that something is going on, I can easily add it in my phone. And then later on, let my doctor know when it started, how it felt, if I was eating certain things around that time, whatever it might be. Maybe you get your blood pressure taken often, so you can record your vitals, allergies, when you get your immunizations, how some of them you need to get every 10 years, or maybe you start getting another immunization when you're 60. But having a track of all that is all available in this app, on top of medications and procedures and lab results, and I could go on and on. I encourage you to take a look at this app and see how much you can organize all in one place. My next tip. This is extremely important the more that we have devices in our life. So the first thing I'm going to mention is the light and dark mode. Even devices beyond the iPhone and the iPad probably have this option. So most apps have this capability of basically flipping the light. So I'm going to show you a picture of what that looks like. And then we'll get back to this. So if the picture you see on the screen on the left side is like normal. It's a very bright white light. And you have the ability to make it the opposite. You could have a black background with white writing. Now the reason why this is becoming more and more important is because we are using devices a lot more. For most people, especially during this pandemic, our way of connecting or doing things is online. So we have this screen in our face all day, and there could be lasting effects on our eyes. So that's why sometimes you might see me with my glasses and you could see the blue light on there trying to reflect it. But this is the next best option, is flipping it to dark mode so that it's not so much light coming on your eyes. Now, let me go back here. We can review in your settings, and I am offering to send you any of this information in paper form or over email about how to access these things on your device. But your settings app, I think, is the best place to go because you can change a lot of things on your device in your settings. The way you look at things, how bright things are. The next option I like particularly is called night shift. So this, instead of it being a black background with white writing, we call it more of like a warm light background. It's pretty yellow actually, and it's supposed to be easier on our eyes. So let's go back to our pictures here. We see our light and dark mode on the screen, which you can change very easily at any time. And you can actually schedule for what time you would like it. Maybe at nighttime, you don't want the bright screen in the dark room and you would prefer a dimmer light. But this is what it looks like with night shift. So you might be able to tell the difference pretty easily in this photo on your right-hand side. The left iPhone is on regular lighting, so it's pretty bright white. Night shift is the one on the right-hand side. And it's supposed to be a lot easier on our eyes, so we can do anything to protect them. I personally have mine set for sunset to sunrise. So as soon as the sun goes down, so does my phone light. The next thing that I recommend taking a look at on your device is the text size. You can choose between 7 different sizes of text that's displayed on your device. So by going to your settings, you'll see on the left-hand side, this is kind of like the first page you will see. You will click on display and brightness, and you can change your text size and basically get a sample of what it would look like immediately. And you can change it anytime, as many times as you want. But I think this is incredibly helpful for those that might have some vision impairments or you just want something easier to read. On the same lines as text size, you can also bold your text. So you'll notice I actually have the word bolded. And this is also in your settings. It's under display and brightness. I encourage you even to just check this tab out because there are a lot of things that you can change on your phone so that it's more personalized to what you would like. But here you'll see on this picture, the left side here is more bolded, and then the one on the right side is less bolded. And that will affect a lot of the apps that you have. So something to try out. If you've never even explored changing the look of your device, I encourage you to do so. My next tip. So this is, I think this year is extremely unique because we have relied on technology to connect with other people. And, you know, right now we're using Zoom, which is a great way to connect. But if you have an Apple device, so this is an iPad, an iPhone, or a Mac computer, you have the ability to easily video chat anyone else who also has an Apple device. It is extremely simple. The way it's set up is like video chatting using the contacts already in your phone. So let's say, for example, my family, my mom, my dad, my 3 siblings, we all have iPhones. So if we want to quickly video chat each other, we can do that. You can have it one-on-one, you can have it with 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, you name it. The trick is that they also have to have an Apple device. But it's very similar to Skyping or using Google Hangouts. But I think it's great. And it's already connected to your contacts, so you don't necessarily have to do much more than just have people in your contact list, which you would probably already have at that point. This is the icon, the symbol that you would see for the app. And it will be labeled FaceTime right underneath it. But it's great, and it's a very user-friendly app. My next tip. So this is really, I think, very convenient if you had an iPhone. So I'm going to show you, this is what was the cover on my iPhone this morning. My husband actually drew this picture of Elvis for me really quickly, and I loved it. He's very skilled. But this is basically a picture of what my phone looks like on the front. And you'll notice there's a symbol on the bottom left-hand corner, and it looks like a flashlight. And you should have a flashlight on your device. Unless you have like an older iPad or older phone, you may not. But this is it's a shortcut for you to use a flashlight on your phone. So let me show you. On my phone right now, let's see, there we go. This is convenient at nighttime when I'm walking my dog and I want an easy flashlight with me. You can actually change how strong the power is. It could be a really low flashlight or a very powerful one. There's also another quick symbol on the bottom right-hand side, and you'll notice it's a camera. So let's say I'm traveling, you know, maybe I'm on a tour bus, and I really want to quickly take a picture of something. I don't even have to open up my phone. I can click on that button on the bottom and quickly be able to take a picture. And I think that is extremely convenient, especially if you're in a rush, or maybe you have someone at the restaurant taking a picture for you and you and your family. These are really sneaky, awesome shortcuts right on your home screen. You don't even have to open up to get to your main page. Now, I do have to warn you, the way how strong you push down on those buttons affects what happens. So if I try to lightly tap on my flashlight, nothing happens. You actually have to push down kind of hard to do that. And we'll talk a little bit more about why that's important for iPhones and iPads. I'm so curious to know afterwards what type of devices that people have, and we can talk about more specifics depending on what you have. So we're on the same line as how hard we push a button affects what happens. And the latest story I can say about this, someone called, they had recently gotten an iPhone, and I helped guide them through some of the basics like texting and calling. And she said, Rita, something new is coming up. I tried to call somebody, but every time I push the button, something else comes up, and I don't know what's going on. How hard you click a button can affect what shows up. And this is a little trick that newer phones and newer devices are doing to offer different options. So I'm going to show an example in just a minute. But let's say I want to make a phone call. If I click on a symbol really lightly, my keypad will show up to make a call. I don't know how easily that's coming through, but I just did a really light tap, and it doesn't take much. If I press hard on that same symbol, something new comes up, and it's actually a shortcut. So for example, I recently called my mom, and this shortcut says, would you like to call Mary Betts, which is my mom? And I can also, there's like different options to search for a contact. And I think this is important to know, not because you may or may not use it, but because you may accidentally press too hard and it could show up something different. But there is a reason why. So how lightly or how hard you tap on that button can change what it does. And I think whenever I get a device, whenever I get something new, my method to not be worried about anything is to play with it and practice with it for hours. Basically, get to know my device. I'm not going to break anything by doing it, but I'm going to learn a little bit, like those little tricks, just by practicing it. And some experiences I've heard from folks is that they're afraid to do that because they don't want to break it. But I think by practicing, you can help eliminate those fears. And of course, with guidance from me, if you wish, I can help you through that. So maybe your homework for the day would be to practice that. See if your device has that option, that if you press harder on your text messages symbol or your phone symbol, let's see what happens. You're not going to break it. So for example, in this picture, I have what would happen if I pressed hard on my email symbol. And this is what came up. I can quickly make a new message. I can even delete the app if I wanted to, but also search for something I'm looking for. All right, this is one of my favorites. The shake to undo. I have to admit, it sounds silly to say, to maybe shake your device, but I use this function to undo something I didn't mean to do. Now, it doesn't work with everything, but the best example I can come up with is I'm going through my emails, I'm reading them, and I accidentally delete an email that I didn't want to delete. And I'll go, oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Well, have no fear, it's not gone forever. If you simply shake your phone right after doing that, an option will come up to undo the delete. So let me show you the picture of what that looks like. So this example is one I found online. And this person was actually typing in something. And they didn't intend to, like they're practicing as if they didn't intend to type something. By shaking their device, they can undo that. Or maybe you deleted words or a whole sentence by mistake. You can shake your device by undoing that. Now, I have to warn you, make sure you're really holding onto your device pretty tightly. So for example, I'm going to show you on my screen here. Hopefully you guys can see me. If I accidentally delete this dog email, all right, and I shake my device, I have the option now that I can undo what I just did, which is pretty convenient. And if you ever have questions about this, I would be happy to show you one-on-one, especially for the type of device you have. It might be a little more difficult with an iPad, but it's definitely still doable. All right, now this is the fun stuff, your photos. If you've ever opened up the camera on your device, you probably have seen a lot of options. There are so many things you can do to edit or change a photo that you take. Now, on iPhones and iPads, if you have one in the last few years, they've had live photos for quite some time now. You can take a picture that actually captures a 3-second moving image. This is actually really funny when you are maybe taking pictures of a kid who moves a lot, and you actually now have a 3-second photo that is movable. So I'm going to pull up a picture right now, and hopefully I can show you what that looks like. Let's see here. I'm trying to find one with like a kid who's moving a lot. So for example, my niece was in preschool, okay? And if I actually just hold on the picture, it shows a 3-second video of her moving, yet it's still just a picture. And this is a newer concept that phone companies are trying to make, which I encourage you to just try out and see what it looks like on your own end. So let's say you have your camera up. You're about to take a picture. I want you to pay attention to the symbol near the top. It is a yellow symbol. And by having it yellow and glowing like that, it means every picture you take will be a live photo, AKA that 3-second video. If you click it, just by tapping it one time, it will not take a live photo. And that could be for any reason that you want it to be. It doesn't matter. No matter what, you can still have that still photo. This live option just gives a little bit of a bonus. Maybe someone made a funny face before you clicked capture, but it captured 3 seconds of time. So I highly recommend trying that out. The next option in your camera is called portrait mode. You have probably seen pictures that, you know, the main image, the main thing that they're trying to show you in the picture is crystal clear. But then everything around it is blurred out. And the reason is they want you to really focus on that main part of the picture. So I want to show you my dog here. His name is Sully. But you'll notice that this is a really crisp picture of just him. And it blurred out everything around him. And it's intended to make the picture look even sharper, which your device already probably has a great camera on it. And these are just some cool things that you can do with that camera. I think that this is really great for family pictures, or maybe a single picture with you, or maybe you and your spouse. But it's really pretty and something to try out. I have to admit, I am no photographer. I am not one to take time to edit photos. So these little things that my iPhone can already do for me makes me feel like I am a little professional. I really like this option, and I encourage you to try it out. I'm not one to enjoy being on camera, so I like to take pictures of other things. I also recommend this mode. Maybe you're out in the garden and you see a really beautiful picture or a really beautiful flower, and you can make it so that the flower is your main focus while everything is blurred out behind you. And it's called portrait mode. And if you need help finding out how to get that in your camera, it's already there, but how to get to it, we will review that afterwards if you need help. This is my last tip, and I'm sure I could give you dozens more, but I think this is really important to know. So do not disturb. Do not disturb, I think, is pretty clear as day, but you can make it so your phone silences calls, notifications, alerts, even while your phone is on, and you can schedule it for certain times as well. Now, this might be important. Let's say you're maybe at church and you really don't want a call to come through and you're really afraid it will, or maybe you are sleeping. So for example, if I don't want any calls to come through during the night, I can make it so that no sound will come through. But I can adjust it so that, well, okay, if Kyle called me, my husband called me, that would come through, or my mom or dad. So I can specifically tailor what I want in my settings. So you'll notice on the right-hand side of your screen, this is again in your settings, something I highly recommend that you take a look at so that you can adjust what works for you if you find that you want to put on this setting. The reason why I think this is really pertinent is the ability to do this while you're driving. So, and maybe this isn't even fit for you. Maybe you are very good about putting down the phone and eliminating that distraction while you're driving. But maybe also someone's trying to text you or call you and you are driving and you have no way of telling them that you can't respond at this time. They have a feature now called Do Not Disturb While Driving, and it can be activated in 3 different ways. It's pretty brilliant, actually. You can connect it as soon as it recognizes you're in the car, so that must mean you have to have a Bluetooth connection to your car. It will automatically turn on Do Not Disturb. Or you can have it activated automatically, like during certain times, or you can manually put on Do Not Disturb, meaning you say, okay, right now I want this Do Not Disturb on so that I am not going to be interrupted. The way this looks, so let's say my sister who uses this function, let's say she's driving and I text her about anything, it will automatically send me a text message back saying that she is on Do Not Disturb and that she is driving right now. And sometimes, let's see. Hopefully you can see me now. I'm sorry about that. So if you're going a certain speed in your car, that also can be an indicator that you are driving and it will turn on that setting. The good news is that you can decide when this happens and how it happens. Even if it's not something you use, this might be really good to recommend to your kids or your grandkids. I know it's concerning for a lot of folks out there who are driving, and there's some people who are texting or calling and acting very distracted. So I highly recommend trying this out. Also in your settings, this is exactly where you would find the Do Not Disturb. So if anything, your homework would be to go through your settings and see everything that's possible to change on your device. So the first one on the left-hand side, you'll notice that automatically means it picks up on your speed. So if you're going fast enough, it'll turn this on. The second one is when connected to car Bluetooth, or you can tell it to do it whenever you want to. On the right-hand side, you'll notice I can change what message is sent for when I'm on Do Not Disturb. I can say I'm driving with Do Not Disturb. I can say I will get back to you as soon as I can. But I think this is an awesome function that is being offered through Apple, and I'm sure other companies as well. So now I'm going to open up the floor for some general questions. I know this is a lot of information, but I am really happy to follow up with you and give you the document with all of this information. And then if you have anything that you really like about your iPhone and you want to share because it's a really great tip, I encourage you to let me know. So I'm going to stop this share right now, and I'm going to invite y'all to unmute so we can chat. All right. So, Rita, Annette, do you have any questions or comments or anything like that?
I do.
Great, and now let's get started.
Wondering, how do you, okay, I was wondering, how do you put contacts into your FaceTime?
So it's actually how to add contacts in your phone is really the best, the only way you can do that. So you have an iPhone, or you actually have an iPad, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So if you have, your contacts app, you would add it through there first, actually. So by finding that contacts app, let me pull this up on mine. It's a gray app with tabs on the side. It almost looks like a planner. I'm opening it right now. Did you find it on your iPad yet? Do you have your iPad with you?
I do. Okay, yes, I see the gray
contacts.
icon.
Good. So
okay.
Once you click on that, you'll notice, let's see, on the top of your screen, the plus sign on the top right-hand side. Do you see that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great. So by tapping on the plus sign, you will be able to fill in a contact card.
Oh.
And you can put in as much information as you would like. So, first and last name and phone number may be anything or all that you need. For me personally, I actually add addresses if I have that. So like my brother, my sister. You can add their birth date. You can add any notes about them. So that might be more helpful if you had a business and you wanted to remember who someone was with some notes. But you just keep doing that and adding your contacts, and they will automatically be in your FaceTime contacts. It's all connected.
Oh, okay. So do you have to press done then?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And you'll notice, if maybe you don't know that someone has an Apple device per se, hopefully you do ahead of time if you would like to FaceTime with them. But you won't be able to, it won't give you an option to FaceTime them if they don't have an Apple device. So if they have like a Android or whatever it might be.
So then
I have a question. Oh, go ahead, Annette.
Okay, so then if you needed to delete that number, let's say they moved or they changed device or something.
Yeah. So FaceTime actually just pulls from your contact list. So any adjustments or changes that you would need, you would go right back to that contact list. And you can change or delete contacts very easily.
Okay.
So let's pull that up again here. By opening up the contact itself, so by clicking on their name, you can make changes by clicking on edit. And which is pretty handy if, like you said, they move or change numbers. But you will not have to change anything in the FaceTime app itself. If you just stick to managing that contact list on your device, then it will reflect everywhere else it's needed.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome, Annette. Go ahead, Rita, you had a question?
Yes, I don't have a decent cell phone, so I just use my iPad.
Right.
And so if somebody wants to message me or messenger me, do I just give them my email address?
Yeah, so your iCloud. So for instance, this is a really great question for those that only have an iPad, not an iPhone. which means you don't have a phone number attached to your device, right?
Correct.
Right. So your phone number is your Apple ID, your email address that you use with that iPad. And the trick with you is that you can only text message those that also have an Apple device. That means like your Messages app only works with other people that also have an Apple.
Messages, not Messenger.
Correct. Messenger is part of Facebook, and it's connected through your Facebook app. So it connects your contacts through your Facebook friends. Your messages are a separate, it comes with your device. Facebook Messenger is its own company, and you are connecting with folks on your Facebook page. But for an iPad, we could get into the nitty-gritty of why that is, but I would hate to complicate it more. All you really need to know is that if they have an Apple device, you can message them through your messages.
Messages.
I know that's complicated, but it's a good question.
Yeah, I thought it was just the opposite. So I thought that, it's just the opposite of that. When I'm in Facebook and I want to do just a private message to whoever is posted,
Yes.
That's easy to do, but I don't know how.
That's through Messenger. So you probably are very familiar with Messenger. Yeah. So if they're like...
Now that's oh yeah, because it's Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
The way I remember that Messenger is part of Facebook, that symbol is blue. So let's take a look at it. I don't know if Annette you have if you have Facebook, but that Messenger app is right there. It's actually got a 1 next to it in my case. That's FaceTime right there. But Messenger is blue.
Okay.
Just like Facebook is.
Oh, okay.
Facebook has that blue F symbol. Messenger has that blue bubble. So think about it like that. They're connected with the color blue. Your messages is green. So try and keep that associated with just your iPad. So if you were to want to message someone privately on Messenger, you would need to have connected with them on Facebook first. So, name a friend that you are friends with on Facebook. You can go right to the Messenger app. And there's an ability to start a new message. So if I open up right now, even Rita, if you would like to quickly, we can open that up.
Go to Facebook right now?
Or Messenger. I would say go to Messenger.
Messenger.
Yep. At the top right-hand side of the screen, do you see like a paper symbol with a pen?
Mine's slow coming up.
That's all right.
Let's see.
It's slow under pressure. Mine
Yes, I got it.
does that too.
Yeah.
So do you see that symbol?
Yes.
Good. So by tapping on that, you probably have a whole list of suggested people that you can message. What I like to do instead is just click on that search bar up top, type in the name I'm looking for, and then you can proceed with your message.
Okay. Okay, if we're in Facebook itself and somebody has made a comment or somebody, can I just tap on them or do I have to come back to this Messenger and do it that way?
You were right the first time. You absolutely can tap on their page. So by clicking on someone's name directly, like let's say they comment on something and you want to privately message, you go ahead and click on their name, and right near the top of their profile, you'll see the message symbol.
Okay. Okay,
So,
even if they're not the person who initiated it or anything, just anybody that's in there.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Good,
any person's name you can click on and get right to their profile.
Okay.
Yep. And right near the top is the message, the private message option.
Okay, sounds great. Okay.
I know it's a lot to know. And I said this earlier and I stand true to it. I know it can be intimidating trying to navigate a new device, but spending time with it is the best thing you can do. And clicking on things and being aware of careful clicking, of course.
Practice.
But navigating your device is the best way you can get to know it better.
Now I FaceTime fairly often but I never knew we could FaceTime more than one. Mm-hmm. What is some kind of symbol or something or how do we add people?
So let's take a look here. So I can start a FaceTime with anybody, right? Okay. And actually, I'm going to test one out right now. So right now, I'm FaceTiming my sister. She also has an iPhone. And hey, Monica. Hi. I'm doing a Zoom presentation on FaceTime and iPhone stuff. Oh, nice. Yeah. So if I'm already in the FaceTime call, so this is my sister, Monica. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, Monica.
So by tapping on this, and I can actually pull this up, I have the ability to add someone to this. So I can add my mom, my brother, whomever.
Never knew that.
Yeah. It's kind of like a sneaky feature just by pulling this up.
Look at her.
And the reason why I know that is because there's like a little bar near the top. And I'm like, wait, that looks like it does something. So that's how you can use that function. And you can add a whole bunch of people. But it gets a little crowded on a little screen like this, I have to admit. So it would be good for your iPad.
Do they have a gallery then, just like Zoom does?
Kind of. You have it. Whoever's talking, their picture tends to get bigger. But they almost are like floating images on your screen. It's pretty funny. It's different than Zoom. It's different than Zoom. But they have their own bonuses to them. So thanks, Monica. I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Did you want to add Christian to it?
No, that's all right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
So, yeah, that could be really nice. And I think, Annette, you and I had talked, a lot of family members might already have Apple devices. FaceTime is a great way to connect like that. And it's fun.
Is there a time limit?
No.
Is there no time limit on that? Okay. No. Everybody's sick of each other.
Right? Until someone switches up or loses battery.
Yeah, right. There you go. There you go.
Great. I highly recommend.
When you're just writing an email or texting or whatever, is there an easy way to underline or bold? Because I know how to do it, on a computer and stuff, but I haven't known how to do that in any of my messages.
Email. It depends on the email you've got, actually. So I would say probably not any easier than what you know, because you don't have a mouse. With these touch screen devices, you're using your fingers. So, by holding down your finger on a word, will actually highlight it. But it depends on what app you're using and if it even has the ability to bold. Your email certainly does. So if that's what you're trying to bold, we can work on that together depending on the email system you have.
Okay.
I know it's complicated, but it is possible for sure.
Okay.
All right. Hi, Carlton. I didn't probably get to say hello.
Yeah, I've been listening in mostly. Excuse my prone position, but I'm recovering from kidney stones.
Oh, wow.
And the good news is I'm finally pain free.
I'm glad you're pain free, and it's really good to see you.
Yeah, and I was a little late and tuning in, but I thought that segment, one of the early segments that I did witness, was the changing of the background to black and then that kind of a yellow And I'm going to pass that on to Janice because she's on our iPad quite a bit. I also have one, but I used to use it quite a bit when I would go to the senior centers, which, you know, we haven't done in the last 6 months.
Right,
But we both,
right,
we both have Apple Mac laptops also. And
right.
we have done FaceTime, although we've never done more than just one-on-one. That's kind of interesting how you can do 3 or more, and that would also apply with the iPad, I would assume.
Yes. Yep, it sure does. I recommend trying it out.
We've been doing it on our laptops because it's a bigger screen.
And at that point, you know, it would show up a lot better.
Sure.
I always giggle at an iPhone. It's like you just barely get to see their face.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm on Janice's laptop right now. Mine's kind of on the fritz, but I have one of those Dell desktop, Dell desktop computers that is my workhorse.
Well, I absolutely hope you tell Janice we said hello.
Oh, she's taking a nap over across the room from me. I definitely will do that.
Okay, good, good.
Any news on opening up the Wood County Senior Center?
You know, we're hoping for November, early November, but we're
Wow.
yeah.
I thought Bowling Green was going to open up soon.
We were hoping, and then there were a lot of things in place that make it difficult to do so.
Mm.
Yeah, the testing.
That's the day before Election Day, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's going to be right around that time. Hopefully we'll get to a point where we can be in phase 2. And phase 2 means like one-on-one stuff. So that would be really helpful for tech appointments and Medicare, you know, open enrollment time. So we're really working hard to get to that point, to be safe.
Great.
Yeah. We miss you all a lot. It's just.
We miss you too.
It's very different.
Ditto.
Yeah. Well, if there's anything, you know, if anybody would like that information mailed or emailed, I can absolutely do that. And then, of course, I hope you all know where you can find me at the Wood County Senior Center for some more specific help with your situation. So I'll leave our phone number afterwards if you would like. I'll actually even put it in the chat box here. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I appreciate you sharing your time with me.
So we appreciate your info and you doing the presentation.
Hey, it's no problem at all. Anything to get some kind of connection to people.
You always give great presentations, Rita.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You guys reach out anytime, all right?
Both of you.
Yeah, I'm
What'd you
just
say,
teasing.
Paul?
Yeah,
Both Ritas.
I know. I was just teasing.
Oh, I can appreciate his humor.
Me too.
Well, nice to meet you, Rita Eckert.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have some friends or brothers, Al and Frank Eckert.
Oh, really?
Spelled the same.
Really? Where are they?
West Toledo.
I hope you all have a great rest of your day, a wonderful weekend ahead. Can you believe how it feels like fall right now? It's just crazy. We're getting close to that.
Just covered up my central air conditioner unit. We just covered up our central air conditioner unit. We're done with that.
Really?
And I turned the furnace on for the first time today.
Oh my gosh.
And
So
crossed my fingers.
if it gets hot again, we'll
Cross my-
blame you.
I crossed my fingers as the 30-year-old furnace fired up today.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah. But it's going okay?
Successfully. The central air conditioning unit was 30 years old and it finally went belly up this past summer.
Wow.
So we replaced that already. And I was just hoping that the furnace might last another winter.
Let's hope so. I'm really hoping.
Thank you.
All
I don't,
right.
if it's not broken, I don't fix it.
Yeah, right. Especially something that expensive,
There
right?
you go.
Well, thank you all again.
Exactly.
I hope you have a really great day, and we'll see you next time.
Okay.
I know.
Same to all you. Bye-bye.